Hey, it's been quite a bit since I've been in front of a camera. Biggest reason being I've moved into a new place, i.e. why there's a different set and why there's not a lot of sound deadening right now because I'm filming in my room and there's just none. Anyways, my name is Grant Shoffstall. I'm an automotive photographer as well as videographer as well as the owner of a Fiat 500 Abarth. And today I want to talk to you guys about car mods, specifically free car mods. Now, this is a subject not a lot of people really know well, and not a lot of people who get into cars really understand, and they don't know how to really go about doing free modifications. I mean, a lot of modifications you have to pay for. What are you talking about? Free? There's no way you can have a free modification. Well, there's three reasons I found. There's three very, very common ways to get free modifications done to your vehicle, and I kind of want to go through them today. So let's go. The first free modification I want to mention is very specific to your vehicle. Now, I don't know what vehicle you specifically own, but there's ways you can go about modifying your vehicle for free without even having to buy any new materials. And that's going on the forums and seeing what other people have done to their cars to get better performance out of them. This could be something as simple as just tightening something from the factory that's generally a little bit loose. This could also be doing an alignment for yourself. One example is the boost leak fix I've done on my Fiat 500 Abarth before. On my channel, you guys have seen it. This modification really changes up the feel of your car. It was something that, even though it wasn't free, it was still a modification that was cheap enough that I could have done for free if I had the materials laying around. If I had those hose lines just laying around somewhere in my garage, or just I had them in my toolbox, I could have done that modification for free.
Hey, I just wanted to clarify something real quick. The boost mod leak video is not up on my old channel at all. It is not up on this channel. It is private right now, but if you guys want me to, I can upload it again on this channel, the secondary channel. I recorded this entire video before I came out with the first announcement video talking about what this channel was going to be, so I kind of left that out, but I can add it back in for you guys then if you want. Anyways, back to the video.
Another one that's very common on the Fiat 500 Abarths are the wastegate fix. Now, this is one I haven't really known about until recently, where the actual wastegate, the nut that locks it in place, is sometimes not adjusted correctly from factory, and you just change it up a little bit. The third one that I know about, which has nothing to do with power and actually has to do with suspension, is the top hats on the Fiat 500 Abarth. The actual plate that mounts it to the body, your front struts, is a little loose from factory, and I know some people flip them around to do that. That's something you could do, you could look into. One vehicle modification that's free for every vehicle that you could just do is weight reduction. Taking out your back seats because you don't use them. Taking out certain aspects of your car that you just don't use if you're going for that type of build. That's something very common that a lot of people do, but not a lot of people actually know about. And they think, oh, well, I have to buy a rear seat delete kit for that. No, not necessarily. Look at forums, look at what other people are doing for free on their vehicles. On your vehicle, it's basically a game of doing a little bit of research and figuring out what works best with your vehicle. The second type of free modification you can do to your car is swapping parts. This is something I wish I would have known before I got into the car modding game. And it's something that you yourself can do if you have a buddy who has the same car as you. One example is recently I swapped interiors with my one friend. He had a red interior, I had a black interior. So what we did is we swapped out our seats and our door cards. So now I have a red interior in my car and he has a black interior. Something simple like that can change the car a lot. And it's a matter of just looking and knowing someone at that point to where you could go and just swap out your interiors. Say your buddy has a intake an aftermarket intake and you like that aftermarket intake, but he wants to go back to stock. So you do a little bit of a trade, swap parts, and bam. It's something that you really have to just know someone who has the same car as you and trust them enough that you can swap parts with them. But once you're in the community for a good bit, you'll find people like that where it's like, hey, we both have the same car. Why don't we just, swap some parts where I don't like my interior, you don't like your interior, let's swap it out. Yet again, a lot of these applications aren't necessarily performance oriented, but they can change the feel and the look of your car exponentially. The last free modification I want to get into is selling stock parts. This is one that not a lot of people really do because they want to keep their stock parts in case they want to sell their car when they're done with it. Recently, I was able to sell my catted stock downpipe. I put up a Facebook Marketplace post and threw it out to a whole bunch of Fiat groups that I had some stock parts to sell. I had like the stock airbox, stock radio, like these little things where it's like, I just don't need them anymore and I don't think I'm gonna ever throw them back onto the car. So here you go. If anybody wants them, throw me a price and we'll do it. I'll sell you the parts. There you go. Somebody reached out to me saying, hey, I need a stock catalytic converter. Do you have one for sale? And I'm like, I don't have one for sale per se because it's still on my car. If you would like my stock cat, I'm sure we could work something out where I could get an aftermarket one and you can take the stock one. I've been thinking about going catless for a while now. It's a very common modification on the Fiat 500 Abarths, and it just makes them sound loud. It's basically a modification you're gonna need to do if you want a fuller exhaust system. I could have went with a high flow cat, but in this instance, my car doesn't need to be inspected for emissions, so I'm like, well, might as well get the cheaper catless downpipe and get a little bit more of an exhaust note out of my car that I can tune later on by applying maybe a resonator or changing up the piping between the actual downpipe and back to the tips, because right now that full system is stock except the downpipe. So yeah, this guy messaged me and he said he wanted my stock downpipe, and I'm like, you know what, if you pay for an aftermarket one, I'll ship you my stock one. And what do you know, he said yes. I ordered the catless downpipe, got it put on, sent out the stock cat to him, and he sent me my reimbursement for me buying the catless downpipe. That's awesome. Like, I never knew I could do a modification like that where I just basically sell off a stock part from my car to get aftermarket ones. Now, I'm not saying to just put posts on Facebook Marketplace and say, hey, you should buy my stock parts. No, this is very, very circumstantial, but it's something I wish I would have known in the back of my head earlier, to the point where I could have started modifying my car a lot sooner and have done a lot more modifications than I have done recently. So yeah, that's just 3 things I've found out within the community on ways to modify your car for free, and they're ways I wish I would have known earlier, so I could have gotten started a lot earlier with modifying my car. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this little list. If you guys have any stories of how you have done free modifications or how you got free modifications in any other way, the ways I mentioned, a way I didn't mention at all that you know, please leave them down in the comments below. I want to hear these stories. I want to see what other people have done with their cars for free. Basically, just these little tips and tricks that, don't cost money at all, that you can enhance your car exponentially with. I hope you guys enjoyed this little set. I have a wall of Hot Wheels behind me. Down here, I have some model cars, and actually down here is my Lego Speed Champions collection. And I got all the boxes right here, and it's sort of like a little shrine dedicated to car stuff. I'm gonna be filming here a lot more often. I have a different setup in my office space that I kind of want to use for doing photography and videography videos, discussing gear and stuff like that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have any comments, leave them in the comments down below. As I said, if you have a story of your own, type it out in the comments and let me know. If you guys enjoyed this video, it would greatly help me if you would subscribe. The more subscribers, the more motivation I have to make more content and to basically interact with you guys. Let me know what you guys would like to see more from this channel. I'm planning on doing more YouTube videos in the future. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Take care.